What's up, everybody? It's your girl Bella. We are back with another week of Convo and Co. And I've been kind of, missing y'all, giving y'all some long form content. Y'all already know how it goes. I say the title, we watch the video, I give my opinion on camera, you give your opinion in the comments, and we go from there. It's the best way that I could do this one woman talk show, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Because everybody's timeline is totally different. So let's go ahead and have the convo. First convo that we're having today is this mom talking about her 21-year-old child. That's her words, not mine, having company at the house. Go ahead and roll that clip.
Okay, y'all, I need y'all advice. Am I the asshole? Okay, my daughter is 21. She still lives at home. She asked me if it would be okay if her boyfriend could come over to our house and kind of hang out with her, which means they would be obviously hanging out in her room. And I told her I'm not really into that. Like, I get that she's an adult, but I still feel like you live under my roof, and I feel like adults live on their own. I'm not really into my daughter, my children. I don't care if it was even my son. I'm not really into, like, my kid laid up with nobody in my house. So she was mad at me, like I said something wrong, and I'm like, I get that you're an adult, but if you're an adult, then you need to be getting your own place. Like, as long as you live under my roof, there will be no shacking up at my house. I don't care what your intentions are, whether y'all just gonna play video games or not. I'm not really into that. And she's like, well, you'll let me travel out of town with him, but you won't let him come to my house, to our house. And I'm like, you're an adult, you're 21, you can go do whatever you want, you just can't do it in my house. That's my boundary. So am I the asshole?
So the first thing that I'm going to say about this, right? I took some notes, y'all. I got my notes. Is that you're still treating your child like a child, but not setting them up to get out of your house, right? Now, in her instance, I did go through the comments. You already know that I did to get some more information. She's stating that she allows her child to live rent free in her house so she could save her money so she could get out. Okay. But this still goes back to my comment saying you're still treating your child, although this is your child, she is not a minor, like a child, but not setting them up to get out. In my opinion, when you want your child to get out the house at first, you should be able to foot some of that bill to put them in their own space. I know this sounds crazy. This might sound crazy to some people. If you want them out, a bulk of your money is going to have to set them up for success. Now, when your child is working from zero and still wanting to live life and go places and do things, of course, some of that money dwindles down when they still want to get their hair done, when they still want to get their nails done. So, in a sense, although you say my house, my rules, I don't want anybody up in here, you have not set them up to be gone, because if you did, they would have the resources to be gone at 21. They would be gone at 21, because it's not even like I want my child to stay in my house. It's, oh, she's getting her shit together so she could get the fuck out, right? So with that being said, that leads me to my next question. I was like, well, what is the problem with having him over in common areas, right? It's because she said the daughter was like, they don't have to be in their room, or the door could stay open, or whatever it is. And I think the daughter even suggesting that the door stay open is a level of trust that the daughter was trying to communicate with the mother. The mother was still like, hell no. Now, in my opinion, once you have a child, really, it starts to get tricky, right? When you have a child, because all these years up until 18, it's like, I can tell you what to do. And then magically at 18, it's like, well, I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you what you can't do in my house. Somewhat fair. When you start having your daughter that's 21 and she could go out of town, somebody made the comment, well, if they could go out of town, they can get out. So that's when she responded, she's saving her money to get out. Now, here we go. If your child, no matter how old your child is, that's always going to be your baby. When your child is of a certain age and they can't have company in your home, now it doesn't matter what age, that's when they get around to sneaking and geeking, as we call it, right? So they're going to figure out a way how to have company either way. In my opinion, 21 and over, you can have company in the house if the door stays open. You know what I'm saying? Just in my opinion, don't be fucking in my house while I'm there. If I'm not there, you're gonna be doing what you want to do anyway. How am I supposed to know besides the ring camera and stuff like that, right? Don't disrespect me in my home, fucking and sucking while I'm there. Everybody has their own opinion about what their child can do at a certain age. But again, in my opinion, if you don't want any of that happening in your house, then set them up for success to be gone. In my opinion, I really want a compound, but there's also the option to buy the homes with the in-law suite or the other apartment where they are separate from the house. So they're not in your house, but you're still able to support your child. They're still able to contribute to a home, a household. So now we have to start thinking and talking about that. What are we doing to set up our children to leave our homes? It's bigger than just having company, in my opinion. And that's just how I feel about that. Yeah, that's my opinion. Y'all let me know if you are going to have your 21 plus old children not be able to have company in the house, because my mom didn't want it because she was super religious, not because she was like, this is my house, da, da, da. She was like, oh, you're not married, this and that, oh my goodness. Girl, she dead now. I can say, oh, girl, it was dick all up in your house. And I wasn't the only child with dick all up in your house. Okay? Okay? The one with the cult? The one in the cult? Oh. Oh. We know why the girls go super religious, but we're not going to talk about that, okay? Next up, for our convo that we are going to be having is, y'all, this, I believe it was trolling. I'm going to cut the video at a certain point because some of the stuff that was being said, that this person wanted to go viral. However, it doesn't take away from the initial part of the conversation that was being had, right? So this person states that they're dating someone. They haven't done anything. They've been dating someone seriously for 4 months now. And finally, the girl comes out and tells him, hey, I haven't had sex with you, haven't been intimate with you because I have AIDS. Now, this man is like, I really like her. What am I supposed to do? Again, the end of the video isn't worth watching, so I'm not going to include it. If you want to find it, you know how to find it. But the topic, let's just roll the clip. Roll the clip.
All right, so let me know if I'm in the wrong. I've been talking to this girl for about 4 months now. 4 months. I haven't gotten no type of play. We've had small dates here and there. Like, we really connect. We really click. But, you know what I'm saying, just about like 2 weeks ago, now I'm lying, like a week ago, she told me some news, gang. She told me, bear with me. She told me that she has AIDS. She has AIDS. But here's the thing, though. I really fuck with her, though, bro. Like, I honestly see her as like my other half, bro. Have you ever felt that much in love? Like, that's my other half. I've been talking to her for 4 months. It's my other half, bro.
Now that you heard what he has to say, 2 questions. Could I? No. Could you? Let me know in the comments. Okay. The thing that's so tricky about AIDS is that in 2026, it is not death sentence that it was 26 years ago, 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It's not that death sentence. They have the medications. Do y'all watch Life, Lust, and Lies? Did y'all see when I went to the clinic? They have medications called PrEP that are preventative and lower the disease so much in your body that is undetectable. Now, what I will say is my answer is still no. Knowingly, someone saying, hey, up front, I have AIDS, this, and this, right? Knowingly, I'm not going to absolutely not continue that relationship. And that's because I am HIV negative. Why would I expose myself to something like that? Now, Let's take it a step further, because HIV is not the only sexually transmitted disease. We have sexually transmitted infections because, recently there's been this big campaign to differentiate between STIs and STDs. Now, again, we already know that AIDS, like I said, is not, because what is another one? Herpes and some other stuff that's lifelong that you can have. With someone saying, "Hey, this is what it is." Sometimes they don't even have to tell you because they're walking around with a cold sore on their face. That's herpes 1, right? Herpes 2 is below the waist, 1 and 2. I think it's very important for disclosure to happen. I think it is absolutely standard to get your tests with new partners. People can lie. People can say anything that they want to say. And I think it's very fair to give someone new the decision versus taking that decision away from them. And again, with me, no. And we're just going to be moving right along because my answer is my answer. This next one is long. This man was exhausting. He was exhausting. He came online and I guess he saw a trend. This trend wasn't really on my timeline. And he named it 7 Reasons I Can't Date You. Y'all, roll the clip.
7 reasons why I probably can't date you. Number 1, I have a kid. He's my top priority. Like he's changed the whole dynamic of my life. And I love him for that, right? For example, we can have an entire day planned out. We're going to do this, whatever, we're going on a date. If something happens and my son needs my attention or I have to get him or anything like that, I'm gonna cancel. I'm absolutely gonna cancel. And if that's an issue for you, then we're not gonna work. Number 2, if I'm dating you, that means I am adding you into my schedule that is already busy. As a lot of you know, I'm a musician, I'm a film editor, engineer, and something else that I can't speak on right now. The fact that I'm making time for you and you're inconsiderate of that time. For example, let me give you an example. If we're going on a date and I say, all right, let's go on a date at 7:30. I told you Monday, the date is Friday, right? You got all the time in the world to make sure you're on time, correct? You walk in at 8:30, you don't give a fuck about me. You know what I'm saying? And you don't care. So like that shows to me that you don't care and you're inconsiderate. So we're not gonna work out. Number 3, I'm in a season of like growing and like grinding and building a legacy for my family, my son, my future wife and kids or whatever, right? You're in a season where you're stagnant and you're not even trying to grow and be your best self. We're not gonna work out. It ain't gonna work because I'm gonna be pissed off if I'm going hard, I'm doing my thing, and then you just on the couch sitting there. You know what I mean? Doing nothing. Now, I'm not saying I want my woman to be doing hard labor and all that type of shit, but I do want somebody who has some sort of ambition. You know what I mean? Have some sort of goal, some sort of drive, something that she wants to do. You know what I mean? Not that she has to do, that she wants to do. It's a beautiful thing. Number 4, right now in this moment, I don't have the capacity to be an emotional maintenance man. Just keep it 100. When it comes to your emotions, I'm always gonna consider them. I'm always gonna do what I'm supposed to do. But I can't fix you. I'm not in a mental space where I'm trying to fix somebody or want to fix somebody. So if that's the case, emotional maintenance man, if you need that, we ain't gonna work out. Number 5, if you're always into some shit, like you're always into some mess, like you beefing with somebody every week, like come on now, at your big ass age, you beefing with somebody every week, you don't know peace. We ain't gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in a state where I am very protective of my peace, 100%. And if you're talking about some, yeah, well, this did this and this nigga did that, that's gonna piss me off, bro. Every week, hear it again, that's cool, that's fine. But if it's so constant to where that's a part of your personality, absolutely not. Number 6, if you're looking for something casual, if you're looking for a casual connection, you trying to just get me to beat it down and just let that be that, it ain't gonna work out, because I am a person who dates with intention. So my intent is either to be with you long term / marry you. That's it. If you're not on that same wavelength, don't even waste my time. And number 7, at your big ass age, you're scared to take a drug test for a job.
Are y'all as exhausted as I am from that? Now, I'm just going to go down the list one by one because, like I said, I have my notes. His number one reason I felt was subjective. And the reason why I said that is because he said, if my son calls me for anything, we're done. I'm gone to my son. Now, with that being said, he probably does say that to his kid. There's such thing as emergencies, and then there's such things as children manipulating you. And if you are a real parent, and by real parent, I mean have full custody, day in and day out with these kids, you know that they can manipulate your feelings, your thoughts, and all these other things because they're just little manipulators, okay, for lack of better words. Now, I did say that it's good for your child to say that they always need you, but when you drop your kid off to a sister, a aunt, a grandma, whoever, and they're crying, they're gonna miss you, but they'll be okay. So saying if my son calls for anything and we're out on a date or we have plans, it's over. Again, subjective. You can't cancel a date because your son got stung by a bee, right? His delivery, to me, it was off-putting. So he, straight out of his mouth, is not someone that I would date, even with a child, even as a single mother. And we all already know that that's my priority. So his reasoning, I wasn't really feeling number 1. Number 2. The nigga just seems too busy. He's got 74 reasons why or how he's trying to fit you into his schedule that honestly he doesn't even need to date. He needs to go buy something. He needs to go buy someone, schedule something, and go about his day. A lot of men don't necessarily believe in paying for the convenience of a woman. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a sex worker. It could be like, hey, this is the time that I have. This is the time that I don't have. I'll be willing to, you know what I'm saying, have you on standby for X amount of dollars. Can't say that you feel like a trick, but you also can't sit here and say, well, I'm working on this, I'm working on that, I'm working on this. I got a slot for you 12:15 every other Wednesday, 12:15 to 12:30 every other Wednesday and every other Friday, contingent upon if my son needs me. Like, nigga, get the fuck on. In my opinion, he doesn't need to date. He can't balance children, a woman, and life. That's 3 things. I know we're going like this, but he can't balance life and himself, really. So how are you going to fit a woman in that and then expect her to conform to your tight ass schedule? That's crazy. That's selfish. And again, y'all watching it just like me. Like it's exhausting. And then also he said something about timeliness and on number 2. Now that I agree with. Everybody, if you know me, I am on time for everything. If I'm running behind, it's traffic related and it doesn't have anything to do with me. And I also, and if it's traffic related, it's some shit that happened on the way to you, because when I'm getting dressed, I keep ways up. I keep ways open to see what's going on in the area in my route. I'm hitting a little route thing to see if I need to be rerouted, if there's a faster way, if something cleared up. I am a very timely person. I expect people to be on time with me. So that one I agree with, but that's just a small portion of what he was talking about. So moving on to his number 3. So I can understand what he's talking about when he's saying have something going on, like don't be stagnant in your life. Now, I've said this before, right? So I've said this on Life Less Than Lies, guys. When dating someone, you want somebody to get continuing education. You want somebody to have interest in something, because if not, you become their interest, you become their hobby, it becomes an obsession. It becomes, resentment, jealousy, all of these other things that play into you not having drive. But it's also very important to, in my opinion, have continuing education, more important than drive. So we can continue to use our brains. So when we step out into different environments, atmospheres, functions, we can have the conversations that people of the caliber that we're trying to get to, or even on that level, we can have those conversations. But if you can't contribute to anything more than what you saw on your Twitter timeline, babe, then you're not the person for me. So I halfway understand what he's saying. Now, we are really from 4 through 7. We're about to go downhill. I'm about to go in on him. All right, let's get into it. Number 4, when he's talking about emotional maintenance man, I want him to be fucking for real. Okay, I'm gonna tie all of these together at the end. I want him to be fucking for real. What happens here is that he's talking about he can't be someone's therapist, when we know that men are the ones that's not going to therapists. Your emotional maintenance man, be fucking for real. Who are you dealing with? Because it sounds like you're here and you're dealing with women here, if that's the case, it is, you're doing that to make yourself feel better. You're not even picking creme de la creme of the women that surround you. You're picking from the lower. Why is that? Why is that? We always say you need to go see the lady because you want some nut shit. You need to go go talk to the fucking lady, right? And for him to even say an emotional maintenance man, nigga, get the fuck on. The next one, always into some shit. Does that not just sound like what I just described? That he's pretending to even be here, but he's fucking with people down here. You have to fuck with people at minimum on your level. If you're fucking with someone who has something to lose, they're not always going to be into some shit. If you're fucking with someone in your industry, they're not always going to be in some shit. Number 6, he's talking about intention. And he wants somebody that doesn't want to be casual. And so what he's insinuating is casual sex, right? So my note says, how can this not be casual if you're willing to cancel if your son needs a Band-Aid? Like I said earlier, you don't fit into his schedule. He's not your emotional maintenance guy. What else did he say? We can agree to being on time. Oh, you can't always be into some shit. You're fucking with bottom of the barrel ass bitches. So now you have to start looking at yourself, reflecting upon yourself, and seeing, why is that? Do you feel like you could be a savior? Because if you're dealing with a woman and then a woman with a child that's on the same time as you, you're not going to have these fucking problems. So what establishments are you in? What functions are you going to, and what you looking for? Let's use me as an example. I love the go-go. I love being in a go-go. Now, we know a lot of these men have good government jobs or tech, but let's be fucking for real. A majority of the men that's in a go-go are not where the fuck I'm at. I can't say put your suit on, we going to this thing. Niggas don't even be having suits to go to functions, to go to weddings. Niggas be having to buy suits to even go to a wedding because the people that they're around, the community that they grow up in, they're not having real weddings and they haven't been to them. Ask me how the fuck I know. Asking a nigga, let's go somewhere nice to eat, but you can't wear your what is it, Raw and Balenciagas. You gotta put some slacks on. I ain't got no slacks. Why? I'm not fucking with the right people. I wasn't fucking with the right person. That's why. Next. And then the last one pissed me off a lot. Willing to take a drug test for a job? If you are fucking with somebody that does any type of, you know what I'm saying, narcotic as their vice, 9 times out of 10 women are smoking weed to de-stress, right? If you're fucking with a woman that's not even smart enough to know how to pass a drug test, babe, we already said what? You fucking with bottom of the barrel. So 4 through 7 was moot because that's a reflection on him and his life decisions and the women that he's fucking with. It says nothing about the women that could potentially and possibly be on his level and higher. He's fucking with poop-hut ass bitches, which means he's a poop-hut ass nigga and he just want to sound good. Read in between the lines of what these niggas are saying. Read in between the lines. They're telling you everything that you need to know as they come on the internet, as you have the conversations. Record the conversations and go home and dissect that shit. Be smart about fucking with these niggas because they'll say anything. They'll say anything and then want you to believe it and have wordplay going on with it. So whatever. So good luck to him not on finding a good woman, which he's not because he's fucking with poop-hut ass bitches. Next. Now this one isn't so much of a conversation. It's more so something that I want my ladies, my young ladies, my women, because this was an older woman doing this. Man, roll the clip.
Come here. Is the bitch back? Come here. Hey, grab her.
We see this woman get emotional and run her vehicle through a house, through an Airbnb. What angered her to this point? It could have been a host of things. But one thing that I do know is that you don't let these men take you out of character to where now you're going to have charges pressed on you. Especially, let me add this in, especially if you don't have lawyer money. Learning to control your emotions in the heat of the moment is a big power play. It's a chess play. Getting revenge on the back end when they thought it was over, when they thought you didn't think about them anymore, is the power move that you think driving your car through the house. What you never let happen is someone ruin your chance at leaving the country, leaving your house. You can be on house arrest for that. You could be fined for that. You could go to jail for that shit. You never let anyone take you out of character on the spot when there's cameras and witnesses and get revenge like that. That's just not something that you do. That's not something that a smart, calculated adult does. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed another episode of Convo and Co. It's crazy that no matter what we go through, sometimes the conversation is repetitive, but it's happening to people in real time. And I really appreciate y'all rocking with me, sticking with me through the new format and the watch time. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes a lot to find stuff that may be interesting to the masses, find stuff that's timeless. I love timeless content, not necessarily aged content, right? So finding timeless topics to talk about is a niche itself. It's a niche itself. It's research. It's making sure that in 5 weeks you could come back and what I'm talking about, what is it called? 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years from now, you can come back and watch my content and it still be fucking relevant. That's the point of the content that I make. I tell y'all that all the time. Again, thank you for tuning in to Convo and Co. It's your girl Bella. See you next week.